Hi, I'm Brian, Technical Manager at Centura in Montreal. Today I'll be going over the different trowel options in the market and proper trowel technique as described by our mortar manufacturers and industry associations. There are many trowel options available to the tile installer, and it may not always be easy to determine which is best suited for the task at hand. More importantly is proper trowel technique, as it plays a major role in the overall success of the mortar to tile contact. I'll go over the basics of proper trowel technique, such as keying in the mortar, directional troweling, and back buttering. I'll also go over some of the newer formats and their efficiency in comparison to the standard square notch, trowels like Ramundi's Slant notch or Ruby's YW notch configuration. Now, a trowel is simply a tool that gauges a specific quantity of product. It controls how much product is left on the surface with the objective of leaving enough mortar to ensure the proper bedding of the tile. Trowels come in many formats and sizes, but for the most part are offered in a square notch configuration, which has been a common product offering for a long time. Although this is the standard, the square notch model has its shortcomings when compared to the newer, more innovative models. These newer formats have appeared in recent years, especially with the growing trend towards large format tiles and porcelain panels or slabs. Keying in the mortar is the action of using the flat side of the trowel to apply mortar to the substrate to ensure proper contact with the surface to which we are going to adhere the tile. This applies as much to tiles as it does to uncoupling membranes such as Schluter's Ditra. Once the mortar has been keyed in, it is important not to spread it in any direction, but rather a specific way, either up and down or left to right. The idea is to make it easier to collapse the notches to avoid creating air pockets, which will ultimately weaken the installation. The most effective method is to spread the mortar in the same direction as the short side of the tile, thus creating the shortest possible distance for air evacuation. Finally, consider back buttering as an additional insurance for higher transfer rates. Know that not all tiles are the same, so be mindful of warping, release agents, and/or dust that may have contaminated the back of the tile. The texture of the backing may also be more pronounced from one tile to another, so back buttering the tile will ensure a better contact. It's always a good idea to look under the first few tiles you've set to make sure that the trowel technique being used is yielding proper coverage rates. Keep in mind that mortar manufacturers have expectations regarding coverage, and poor application technique will probably fall short of meeting the manufacturer's and industry standards. The expectation in regards to coverage can vary from 80 to 95% depending on the type of installation and tile size. In regards to the alternative configurations, I recommend using these new formats simply because they allow you to achieve the same result with less effort. The choice is not as varied as the square, V, or U-notch products. However, these trowels have been designed for efficiency. For example, the slant notch trowel has several advantages. The most obvious being that the notches are angled at about 30 degrees to help them collapse more easily. The spacing between the notches has been reduced to avoid air pockets, and the corner is full to help keep the edge of the tiles clean and free of excess mortar. These trowels are available in 3 sizes, 6, 8, and 10 mm. Ramundi recommends using the 10 mm notch and a 3 mm square notch for back buttering when installing large porcelain panels or slabs. Ruby's YW trowel has a different approach with their high and low notch design, allowing for the upper part to be flattened into the lower space. I feel these trowels are worth adding to your toolbox and could quickly become your go-tos. One last tip, no matter which trowel you end up choosing, the mortar needs to be appropriate for the trowel size you're using. It also needs to be fresh or wet enough to ensure transfer rates to the backing. Do not allow your mortar to dry out or skin over, as this will greatly reduce the transfer rate and compromise all your proper application techniques. I strongly recommend using Tech's Ultimate 6+ mortar for its extended open time and ease of application. Feel free to leave your comments and follow us on our social media platforms. Thank you.